My daddy told me this later. While they were listening to me preach, he looked at my mom. Oh, I wish you knew my daddy. He was a very handsome man. You know, what's his name? Clark Gables? My father looked just like him, except more handsome. That's a fact. I'll show you pictures. He was 6'2". My daddy was 6'2" because his mother was a tall woman. He was a tough-looking man. And he's sitting there. And he had told my mom in service, he said, "That's not your son up there." He said, "Your son can't even talk." He said, "That boy up there, something's happened to him. And I'm going to sure find out. Because that boy up there is talking." So I come home and they're sitting waiting for me. And you got to understand our Middle Eastern culture, you know, everything's respect and honor, you know. So I walked in and you have to go and kiss your dad's hand. That's just the way it is in our culture. So I walked in and took my father's hand and kissed it 2 a.m. And when I was holding his hand, kissing it, and scared to death he may just cut my neck off, he looks at me, grabs my hand, he won't let go, and looks at my eyes were real strong. He said, "Benny, how can we become like you?" My God. And I gave them the gospel. And that night my mom and my dad were born again. Isn't that glorious? And the next morning, oh, it was a wonderful morning. The next morning my daddy called all the kids in. Everybody came. Rose came, and Henry came, and Chris, and Willie. We have 8 of us. 8 kids. All the 8 kids showed up, and my father was sitting down, and he said, "Now listen here, all of you. If you ever make fun of your brother Benny, I'm going to kill you." You know, he wasn't exactly sanctified yet, so please understand, huh? He said, "You make fun of him," and he threatened them. And then he said, "And I order you all to become saved, just like your brother." He gave him a command from heaven. You better get saved. Henry showed up to my service. Can I tell him about that, Donna? Henry got saved by accident. Seriously. He was making a U-turn in a parking lot. See, his wife Donna, I knew her before he knew her because she used to attend my meetings before she married Henry. And I had Monday night services in Toronto, Canada, where thousands of people would come and hear the gospel and be healed by the power of God. And my brother Henry was making a U-turn in this parking lot, and a truck got behind him and he got stuck. He came in to make a U-turn, and this truck was behind him, and the truck stopped, and the guy got out of the truck and ran in to hear me preach, and Henry couldn't get out. Boy, when the Lord wants to save you, He really wants to save you. And he came in looking for the guy, the truck driver, so he can move his truck. And there I was preaching. He was shocked. He saw his brother preach. You know how bad Henry was? He stole my jacket once. I used to have a beautiful jacket with all colors like Joseph's coat. And he stole it. And I was preaching in it one day, and I put my hands in, and there was drugs in my pocket. He put the drugs in the jacket, and I was preaching with drugs in my pocket. I scared the life out of me. Can you believe it? I never told that because he stole my jacket and put drugs in there. He hid his drugs in my jacket. And I'm preaching, and I put my hand up. Oh my God, there's drugs in here. Didn't tell a word, didn't tell nobody. I got very angry at Henry for doing that to me. But he thought my jacket was a very good hiding place. So he comes to service, and he can't get out because he couldn't find the truck driver. And I began preaching, and Henry was paying attention to everything I said. We used to have plants in those services, and there's big plants. They would put big plants in front of me. And when I gave the altar call, Henry sneaked up and hid behind one of the plants, so I would not see him. And when I was asking people to pray the salvation prayer, I looked, and there's Henry hiding behind the bush. And I said to the whole crowd, I said, if God can save my brother, He can save anybody. And that day, he got gloriously born again. Even, brother, God will save your soul even if you're hiding behind the bush. He'll still find you. So today, I'm here to tell you, it's been a wonderful life. Since 1972, you know what I found about the Lord? He's the sweetest. He's the dearest. He's so patient and loving and kind. He'll never, ever, ever let you down. He'll never leave you, never forsake you. You know, when the Lord saves your family and you see the change, it's precious. My mom is 78 years old. Talked to her today just on the way here. She said, Benny, I prayed for you. God's going to give you a great service tonight, Benny. And you know, I think about the days when she used to burn incense to Mary and all the saints. But the next morning after she got saved, I came home and all the pictures were gone. And all the saints were gone. And all the incense was gone. I said, Mama, what happened? I said, what happened to all your saints and all the... Oh, she said, I found Jesus. I don't need no saints now. I found Jesus. I found Jesus. My parents got saved so radically that my daddy went to Jerusalem. He was very good friends with the patriarch of Jerusalem, who gave me his name. Benedictus was the patriarch of the Greek Orthodox Church. And the patriarch rebuked my dad for allowing me to be saved. He said, how dare you let your son become a born-again Christian when he has my name? And my father looked at him and said, Your Eminence, not only is my son saved, so am I. Precious people, I'm here to tell you salvation can change you and your whole family. If you don't know the Lord, you don't know what you've been missing. But when you meet Jesus, oh, He'll bring joy to your life and peace to your heart. It doesn't mean you're going to have a perfect life. Of course, nobody is perfect except the Lord. But even in your sorrow, He'll give you peace. He'll give you joy, help you, carry you, keep you going. My salvation affected one of my cousins who just died. 13 children, just to show you what salvation can do. 13 children, all millionaires, multimillionaires. He was 40-something years old. He just died a few days ago with cancer. His father gave him millions of dollars as his portion of the inheritance. The whole family, every kid had millions of dollars to invest in a business. Not one of them ever gave me a cent. They hated preachers. I went to have dinner with them. They said, we hate preachers. They're all a bunch of thieves. I said, I'm one of them. Oh no, you're different. I said, how am I different? Well, because you're our cousin. So whether it doesn't matter, I'm still a preacher. One of them was saved. He took all his money. Listen, he took all his money and fed the poor. He took all his money and bought Bibles for people. And when he died, and his family called him crazy also. My aunt and his brothers said, he's crazy. He's giving his money away to the poor and buying Bibles for the homeless on the streets. He just had a funeral service at Gary Beasley's church, the Pentecostal church in Toronto. 2,000 people show up to the service. You know who showed up? All the homeless people showed up. All the poor people showed up that he had given money to and fed and clothed and bought them Bibles. So I called my aunt a few days ago, named Louise. I said, Louise, I'm sorry about what happened to Tutu. That was his name. Oh, she said, Benny, I got to tell you something. She said, when my son was dying, he was singing, how great thou art. In the hospital, with tubes down his throat, he's singing. She said, the nurses wondered, what's wrong with this young man singing? She said, he died singing. And then she says this to me on the phone. Oh, please, she said, listen, will you come to our house? I'll get all the kids together. Come, please tell us, what was it about my son that we all need now? So I'm flying there in the next few days to tell all of them that Jesus is the answer.